This month, we will be featuring two exhibitions, Art for All and Nancy Goodman's Art Quilts. These pieces will hang through the end of January in the Mobile Arts Council's gallery at room 1927 next to the Sanger Theater. The gallery is open to the public Wednesday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and on ArtWalk nights through 9 p.m. So we're going to start off with the tour with the Art Quilts by Nancy Goodman. So art quilts are quilts meant for the wall rather than the bed. While firmly grounded in craft of quilting, Goodman's quilt style is improvisational, made without patterns or templates. She creates her designs using vibrant colors and complicated piecing, a final layer of intricate quilting, stitching that holds all the layers together, fills every inch of the quilt. Goodman exhibits her quilts in national and international shows and has won many awards. And we are very lucky to have her living and working with us here in Mobile. So we're going to start with this first piece on the wall titled Stained Glass Window. Nancy says, my interpretation of the stained glass windows in the Central Presbyterian Church on Dolphin Street, where my studio is located, in the unused education wing. This next piece is titled Pop. And almost all of these pieces are for sale. We've got a price list on this pedestal up front. And you can gladly answer any questions for those who are interested in making a purchase of one of these fabulous quilts. This is titled The Mall. I'm imagining each one of these little segments is a different shop. This next quilt is titled The Spat. We've got a little story behind it. Nancy says, my husband and I were quarreling. I closed my eyes and an image popped into my brain that I reproduced in this quilt. I think it has to do with being thoroughly interconnected while holding opposing views. Above this is a minor masterpiece in gray. And another minor masterpiece in brown. This is titled Mexican Beach Town. Our 2019 Arts Grants Committee was very impressed with Nancy's quality of work, and she actually received a grant from us to pursue professional development in her quilting that year, and as a result, she now has an exhibition with us, so we're very glad to finally see this come to fruition. She's very talented. This next piece is an Untitled, 27 by 26 inches. Details on every inch of the quilt. Another Untitled, purple and greens. This one's 30 by 27 inches. You really got to come by and see these in person if you can. That way you can really appreciate all these amazing textures she has going on in these quilts. This is Purple Palace. It's 24 by 30 inches. This next one, which I zoomed in earlier, is titled Crosses. And you can see this one really well from the street. I'll have to ask Nancy if she knows how many crosses are actually on this quilt. I have not counted yet. Okay, moving over. This is titled Sun and Seed. By 75 inches. And most of these quilts were made in 2020. Some were made 2018, 2019. We'll move over here to Mist. This quilt's 72 by 74 inches. It is grayscale. Nancy is also a member of the Azalea City Art Quilters, who will also have an exhibition, a group exhibition with us in the fall. So we're looking forward to having another dosage of quilted art in here later this year. This piece is titled Sea Glass. This is the only one that's not for sale in the series. Nancy says, while vacationing in Puerto Rico, we discovered a beach that covered a former landfill. There was sea glass everywhere. And we'll skip on over to this wall. This piece is titled Diamond. It's 59 by 57 inches. And with this piece, this begins her Peace and Freedom mini-series. Nancy says, all over the world, people are struggling for peace and freedom, and these quilts commemorate some of those struggles. So the next few, we will have some stories to go along with them. This piece here is titled Sudan. In 2019, the Sudanese people hit the streets in massive demonstrations against their authoritarian dictator. These demonstrations were successful and the dictator was deposed. They are now on their way to a democratic state. This quilt was inspired by a graffitied wall with slogans, peace and freedom. This next piece is titled The Border Wall. Nancy says, we've watched the wall being built along our southern border. What isn't so commonly known is that parts of the Mexican side of the wall are covered in graffiti, especially around San Diego. The hopeful immigrants have turned something hateful into a symbol of hope. This next piece is titled Black Lives Matter. Nancy says, I looked through pictures and videos of the Black Lives Matter demonstrations looking for a potent visual image to represent the struggle. I decided that the sign itself made the strongest statement. And I agree. You can see she's got red thread throughout and a very colorful border around the edge. This next piece is titled Hong Kong. In 2019, the Hong Kong people staged massive demonstrations almost daily to protest the autocratic government of China. They were specifically demonstrating against a new law that would give China more power to suppress the democratic movement there. When it rained, the streets filled with umbrellas. The demonstrations stopped when the coronavirus hit. Since then, the law has been enacted. It makes it illegal to demonstrate, not the ending we were hoping for. And then, Barcelona. Nancy says the Catalonians have a different language and culture from the Spanish and want their independence from Spain. In 2019, they held a massive demonstration in Barcelona protesting the stiff prison sentences of some separatist leaders. Their struggle continues. This quilt depicts that demonstration. All right, so that's it for the Peace and Freedom series of this collection. This next piece is titled African Treasure. Nancy says, we spent a year in Gabon, Africa in the mid-'80s. This was a pivotal point in my quilting career. The Africans used color in such fantastical ways, I was permanently converted. When I got back to the US, I couldn't find prints that were as exhilarating as the African prints, so I started using solids to represent those sensational color schemes. I bought the printed cloth I used in African Treasure during my stay in Gabon. I saved it for 35 years, waiting for a worthy idea. You can see bits of that beautiful printed cloth throughout this quilt. This is an untitled piece, 30 by 31 inches. Another untitled. This one with pastel colors. We've got Aztec Monument. It's 20 by 27 inches. And finally, black and white. So that is it for Nancy's series. We are so happy to be featuring her finally in this space. And these will be up throughout the month. So now we're gonna move over to our next exhibition, Art for All. The Mobile Arts Council, the Central Arts Collective, Full Like the Head Foundation, and Larch Mobile are pleased to announce Art for All, an inclusive arts education program for adults. The goal of this program is to bring people of all abilities together to express their creativity and develop their skills in a variety of arts media, including acrylics, graphics, watercolors, and more. This January, 58 framed works from Art for all created by students with developmental disabilities and organized by Carolyn Green, will be featured in our gallery. 100% of those proceeds from these art sales will go towards purchasing supplies for Art for All's classes, so stop by and purchase a special piece for your home while supporting a wonderful cause. If you're interested in volunteering or making a financial donation, you can also contact us here at the Mobile Arts Council and we'll put you in touch with the right people. So we'll go ahead and get started with these artworks. This first piece is Coastal Lighthouse with a Nice Cat by Billy Dawn. Lady with Horses by Danny Jarrell. Cow by Corey Gazaway. Cat with Whisker Wings by Carolyn Levy. Mother and Frolicking Kittens by Jane Stebbins. Siamese Cat, one of my personal favorites, by Brandy Hartley. Green-Eared Cat by Donovan Barnett. That one's got a fun decorated frame too. Under the Sea by Alex Jones. That's a big squid. I'd be scared to be down next to that one. Orange Fish by Brandon Bateman. Elephant by Doris Beck. Seahorse by Brandon Bateman. New Mexico's Mountains by Ashley Petway. White House and White Cloud by George Thrift. James Pond in January. Ooh, it looks chilly. Ralph's Supermarket, Queens, New York by Reginald McDade. Look at all that graffiti. Brighton Beach, Brooklyn, also by Reginald McDade. Stained Glass Window, Central Presbyterian Church, another feature of the church in here this month, by Ernest Good. Golfing by Rena Smith. Oh yeah, so they're having a fun time. Little Dutch Girl by John R. Buddy Jones. Kitty with White Feet by Bo Jones. Lots of animals in this show. Blue Tick Hound, also by Bo Jones. Reaching for the Door by Rosie Lockett. Pretty Western Town by Bobby Mack. March at Sunset by Ernest Good. Orange Lady by Alex Jones. That's still on paper. It's a self-portrait, Myself by Raymond Price. Singing and Playing by George Thrift. Pencil on paper. Bananas from Mobile by Donald Little. Lake, Trees, and Sky by Joaquin Holloway III. Mallard by Corey Gazaway. Wild Turkeys by Aaron Thorne. Sorry, Aaron Thorne. Seabirds, another by Ernest Good, as well as Egret by Alex Jones. We got a couple on pedestals over here. This is Kathy's Peacock. This was a collaborative piece. Acrylic on canvas. Happy Birthday Cake by Jessica Burton. Acrylic on canvas. Going back to the birds. Got Baby Owl by Brian Pat Smith. Mixed media. Every one of these pieces is for sale and the prices are very reasonable for those that are interested. This is Black Crested Titmouse by Aaron Thorne. Rooster on the Fence by Ernest Good. Great Egret by Ashley Petway. Soaring Above the Trees by Sam Hackworth. It's a little pastel on paper. There's Red Bird by Alex Jones. Pelican on a Post. Another piece by Mr. Ernest. Heron on My Porch 2. Another piece by Ernest Good. What a Bay Bird by Doris Beck. Hibiscus 2 by Jessica Burton. Watercolor on paper. Another piece, watercolor by Jessica Burton. Hibiscus 1. Single Flower 2 by Carolyn Levy. And Single Flower 2 by Robert Olds. Thistle by Corey Gazaway. Almost done. We've got a handful of portraits here by Demetria Hudson. This is Red-Haired Girl in Leopard Skirt. And from what I hear from Caroline Green is that Demetria is a very fashionable lady and loves to capture that in her pieces. Here's A Brisk Walk. Now this piece is by Tessa Barton. Ballerina. Another Ballerina by Lorenzo Glover. Then a couple more portraits by Demetria Hudson. Picking Apples. And Accessorized with Orange. These are tempera on paper. Lots of accessories. 3 more pieces. Mardi Gras by John R. Buddy Jones. Beautiful Town by Donald Lucy. And last but not least, Crossing the Bay by John R. Buddy Jones. Come and see these pieces in the gallery space throughout this month, Wednesdays through Fridays from 10 to 4. If you can't make it during those times and you'd like to see the show, just contact us and there's a possibility we could schedule an alternative time for you. Thank you all for watching this tour. I hope you enjoyed it and that you're all off to a very happy new year. Please like, share, and subscribe on our social media channels to see more and to help support us and the artists in our community. And let us know if you're interested in purchasing a piece or have any questions. Thanks, everybody. Happy January.